It was March 18th, 2021, when the Georgia Department of Natural Resources park renovation crew found a buried running shoe underground while widening the old trail on Kennesaw Mountain Trail. And project manager, 42-year-old Thomas Bryant's heart sank when he pulled the shoe from the excavation site. The shoe had been lying there for 16 years, a faded pink-white Nike running shoe. Yet the runner herself was not there. Georgia police had searched for Nicole Parker for 16 years. The young woman had vanished as if the park trail had swallowed her. Exactly 16 years later, that shoe on the park trail would change everything. Criminal laboratory technicians detected DNA on samples taken from the shoe's insole and laces. A scan began in the Georgia crime database. The first match came up in Nicole Parker's file, a woman who disappeared in 2005 at age 26 after going out for a morning run. The second match was shocking. There was another DNA on the shoe's outer sole and side sections, soil samples, sweat traces, microscopic skin particles. The database gave results in 1.2 seconds. Steven Wright, 58 years old, maintenance worker who had worked at Kennesaw Mountain Park for 25 years. DNA analysis led the soil samples and organic materials on the shoe to a name Marietta had trusted for 16 years. Park maintenance coordinator Steven Wright. Wright had joined Nicole's search teams, scanned park trails, told the Parker family maybe it was a wild animal attack. He had cried at the community memorial service, said, "I feel like this park isn't safe anymore." Now police were at his door, asking him one question. How was Nicole's shoe buried on the trail you've worked on for 16 years, Steven? On the north slope of Kennesaw Mountain, 50 meters off the main trail among dense trees, Nicole Parker's skeletal remains were found. 26 years old, a woman who made running the center of her life, silenced because the park maintenance worker wanted to show her a shortcut. At 6:30 on Tuesday morning, April 12, 2005, Nicole Parker stood in the kitchen preparing breakfast for her fiancé, Marcus Davis. The 26-year-old woman wore a pink sports bra and black running tights, her pink-white Nike running shoes on her feet. "I'm running at Kennesaw. I'll be back by 8, she told Marcus. Marcus sipped his coffee. "Be careful, honey. It's still dark." Nicole smiled. "I run the same route every morning. I could do it with my eyes closed." She grabbed her green windbreaker jacket. "I love you," she said, leaving. Marcus said, "I love you too." At that moment, thousands of people across Georgia were doing the same thing, preparing for a morning run. But Nicole Parker never came home again. Nicole's plan was simple. Go to Kennesaw Mountain Trail, run 8 kilometers on the main trail, come back. She had used the same route for 3 years. It was safe, popular. Park maintenance worker Steven Wright was there every morning. Nicole knew him. He was a kind man. Everyone trusted him. But that morning, Steven Wright was thinking something different. Nicole Parker and Marcus Davis had been engaged for 2 years. Marcus was a software engineer. Nicole was a fitness trainer. They lived in Marietta, were planning their wedding for October 2005. Nicole loved running, woke up every morning at 6:30, went to Kennesaw, ran, returned at 8. It was routine, discipline, passion. She ran marathons, competed in races, dreamed of qualifying for Boston Marathon. That morning, she was training for a half marathon, but she never came home. At 9 o'clock, Nicole still wasn't home. Marcus began to worry. She was always punctual. He called Nicole. The phone went to voicemail. At 9:30, he called her gym. Her client was waiting. Nicole hadn't shown up. Marcus knew something was wrong. At 9:45, he drove to Kennesaw Mountain Park. The parking lot was almost empty. He searched for Nicole's car, couldn't find it. He ran to the trail entrance, shouted, "Nicole! Nicole!" No one answered. At 11, he called Marietta police. "My fiancé went for a morning run. She was supposed to be back by 8. Now it's 11. I can't find her. Please help." At noon, Marietta Police Department launched a search operation. Detective Rachel Thompson took the case, 38 years old, experienced investigator. She determined Nicole's route, Kennesaw Mountain Main Trail, 8 kilometers, 1 hour. Thompson directed teams there. Search dogs arrived at 1. Volunteer teams formed at 2. Marcus and Karen Parker, Nicole's mother, stood in the park watching as searchers fanned out across the mountain. The first 48 hours were critical. Thompson knew this. Park cases were difficult. Vast terrain, dense forest, wild animals, rocky cliffs, dozens of trails. Had Nicole gotten lost, been injured, or been abducted? Thompson focused on the main trail. But that morning, dozens of runners were there between 6:30 and 8. Police interviewed every person. No one remembered seeing a woman in pink clothes. Dogs searched for her scent. Nothing. It was as if Nicole Parker had never been there. Thompson questioned everyone who worked at the park. She spoke with Steven Wright on the second day. Wright was 42, had worked there 9 years. He was known as reliable, friendly. "Mr. Wright, did you see Nicole Parker on April 12th? Thompson asked, showing him Nicole's photo. Wright studied the photo. "No, detective. I came to work early around 6, did my usual trail inspection, but didn't see a runner in pink clothes," Wright said. "What areas did you patrol?" "Started at the visitor center, checked the main trailhead, walked to the first mile marker, checked North Slope trails. Standard routine." "Anything unusual?" "No, detective. Seemed normal. A few runners, some hikers, nothing suspicious." Thompson took notes. Steven Wright seemed calm, helpful, concerned. "I hope she's found safe," Wright said. "This mountain is my responsibility. I feel terrible someone disappeared here." Thompson had no reason to suspect him. A week passed. 2 weeks passed. No clues. Search teams scanned the park, checked off-trail regions, searched valleys. Helicopters flew overhead. Dive teams checked creeks. Nothing found. Nicole Parker had vanished. Marcus went to the park every day for months, walking trails, posting flyers. Karen organized volunteer searches. They offered $10,000 reward. No one called. Media interest waned. First week daily coverage, second week brief updates, third week silence. Nicole Parker became another unsolved case. The file was marked active but unsolved. Steven Wright was perfect during those weeks and years that followed. He helped the Parker family, volunteered with search teams, walked trails calling Nicole's name. He participated in the memorial service 6 months later, said, "I feel like this park isn't safe anymore, like I failed to protect people." Karen hugged him, thanked him. "You're very kind, Mr. Wright." Steven said, "I have a younger sister who runs. I can't imagine what you're going through." He continued this for 16 years. The concerned worker, the dedicated employee, the kind man. No one suspected. No one knew the truth. At 6:45 on April 12th, 2005, Steven Wright was patrolling and saw Nicole Parker running on the main trail. Nicole wore pink athletic clothes, pink-white Nike shoes, green windbreaker jacket. Steven looked at her, and something dark stirred inside him. The woman was beautiful, fit, vulnerable, alone. Steven had worked there 5 years and had seen Nicole running dozens of times. He knew her routine. Every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday morning, 6:30 arrival, 1 hour run. He had noticed her. He had watched her. He had fantasized. That morning, with few others on the trail, with fog clinging to trees, Steven made a decision that would destroy 2 lives. Steven positioned himself at a fork where Nicole would pass. When she approached, he waved friendly. "Good morning." Nicole slowed down, pulled out one earbud, recognized Steven, smiled. "Good morning, Mr. Wright." "You're out early," Steven said. Yes, I have work at 9. Trying to finish early, Nicole replied, jogging in place. Steven nodded. Hey, we just opened a new trail on the north slope. Really beautiful, much quieter, amazing views. Nicole looked interested, but hesitant. Really? Where? Through those woods, 10-minute walk. I'm heading there now to check it. You could follow me, might be perfect for your runs. Nicole hesitated, checked her watch. I don't know, my time is tight. Steven pressed. Super quick, 15 minutes. Just see it, then you'll know for future runs, Nicole thought. Steven was the park worker. She'd seen him dozens of times. Always friendly, helpful. Everyone trusted him. Okay, let's take a quick look. It was the last decision she would ever make. The path to the north slope diverged from the main trail. Steven led the way, talking about the park. Nicole followed, listening, trusting. They walked 8 minutes, climbing uphill, moving deeper into forest. The main trail sounds faded. The fog grew thicker. No other people around. Steven stopped at a small clearing, turned with a smile. Here's the trailhead. Nicole looked confused. There was no trail, just trees. I don't see a trail. Where is it? Steven's smile changed. His expression shifted into something predatory. Nicole, I need to talk to you, he said, voice lower. Nicole's face changed. Her body tensed. About what? You're very attractive. I've been watching you for years. Nicole's eyes widened. I need to go, she said firmly, turning. Steven grabbed her arm hard. Wait! His grip was tight, painful. Nicole yanked away, said loudly, Let go of me, and started to run. But Steven was faster, stronger. He tackled her from behind, both crashing down. Nicole fought with everything she had, screaming, kicking, clawing at his face. She landed several hits. Steven's face got scratched, blood appearing. But he was 200 pounds. Nicole was 130. He pinned her down, put one hand over her mouth, the other around her throat. He squeezed. Nicole's eyes went wide with terror. She couldn't breathe. She thrashed, trying to throw him off, clawing at his arms. But Steven didn't stop. He squeezed harder. Nicole's struggles became weaker. After 90 seconds, Nicole's body went limp. Her eyes remained open, staring at nothing. Steven released his grip, rolled off, sat back breathing heavily, hands shaking. He looked at Nicole. She wasn't moving, wasn't breathing. He had killed her. Panic consumed him. Steven had no plan. He had acted on urges suppressed for years. Now a woman was dead, and he was in a forest trying to figure out what to do. He looked around frantically. The forest was silent. No one had seen. He had maybe 20 minutes. He had to act fast. He grabbed Nicole's body, dragged it deeper into woods, 50 meters into dense vegetation. He used his hands to scrape away leaves and dirt, creating a shallow depression. He placed Nicole in it, covered her with dirt, leaves, branches. The hiding spot was crude, but in this dense forest might never be found. Then he looked at her feet. The pink-white Nike shoes. Too distinctive, too bright, too memorable. He pulled off both shoes. He walked back toward the main trail carrying them. About 30 meters from the trail, he dug a small hole, placed one shoe inside, covered it with dirt and leaves. It disappeared. The other shoe he buried with the body. Then he went to the maintenance shed, got cleaning supplies, scrubbed his hands and arms. His face had scratches from Nicole's fingernails. He would say he ran into a branch. Plausible. He changed his shirt. He returned to normal patrol. When others saw him that morning, he was calm, professional, normal. As if nothing had happened. 16 years passed. Steven Wright lived with his secret every day. He aged, hair turned white, turned 58, got promoted to coordinator, received awards, married in 2008, had 3 children, became a good father, reliable husband. He coached soccer. He volunteered at church, lived a normal life. But every morning at work, he walked past where Nicole was buried. Every single day for 16 years. He never forgot. The guilt never left, but neither did the fear. As years passed and no one found her, Steven believed he might get away with it. Maybe the secret would die with him. Until 2021. In 2021, Georgia State Parks announced a renovation project for Kennesaw Mountain. Trails would be widened, rebuilt. When Steven heard this, terror seized him. That trail, that section, he had buried Nicole's shoe right there. If they excavated, they would find it. But he couldn't stop the project. He could only wait. He didn't sleep for weeks. On March 18th, 2021, Thomas Bryant was excavating when his machine hit something. He stopped, got a shovel, dug by hand. What he uncovered made his blood run cold. A shoe, pink and white, Nike, partially decomposed, but recognizable. Bryant immediately stopped work and called his supervisor. Within 2 hours, the park was a crime scene. That evening, Steven was home when his phone rang. His supervisor. "Steven, we found a shoe during excavation. Looks very old. Police are involved. Forensic team's coming tomorrow." Steven's heart stopped. "Okay, thanks," he managed to say. That night, he didn't sleep. His life was about to end. Forensic analysis moved quickly. DNA samples from the shoe were run through Georgia's database. 2 matches. Nicole Parker, missing since 2005. Steven Wright, park coordinator. On March 28, 2021, at 7 a.m., 4 officers and Detective Thompson arrived at Steven's home with an arrest warrant. When Steven opened the door, he knew. His face went white. "Steven Wright, you're under arrest for the murder of Nicole Parker," Thompson said. She had waited 16 years to say those words. Steven said nothing, turned around, hands behind his back. His wife screamed. His children cried. Steven was handcuffed and driven away. The man who had hidden for 16 years was finally caught. In the interrogation room, Steven sat for 3 hours before speaking. His lawyer advised silence, but the wait was too much. "I just wanted to show her a new trail," he said quietly. "That's all. But then, I couldn't control myself. I touched her. She got scared, tried to run. I panicked. I grabbed her. We fought. I put my hands on her throat. I squeezed. I couldn't stop. I didn't mean to kill her, but I did. I buried her. I buried the shoe. I thought no one would ever find it. I'm sorry." It was a complete confession. Recorded. Damning. On April 5th, 2021, police brought teams to the North Slope. Steven had drawn a map. They found Nicole exactly where he said, 50 meters off trail, in dense forest, covered by 16 years of growth. They recovered her skeletal remains, her clothes, her other shoe. DNA confirmed Nicole Elizabeth Parker. After 16 years of searching, she was finally found. Marcus Davis, now 47, received the call. "We found her," Thompson said. "Nicole is coming home." Steven Wright was charged with murder. His trial was brief. The evidence was overwhelming. His confession, the DNA, the remains found where he said. On June 22nd, 2021, a jury found him guilty. The judge sentenced him to life in prison without parole. Steven showed no emotion. His wife filed for divorce. His children refused to see him. He would spend the rest of his life in a Georgia prison. Nicole Parker's funeral was held on July 10th, 2021, in Marietta. Hundreds attended. Friends from high school, college, the gym, the running community. Marcus Davis, who had never remarried, who had never stopped loving her, stood at her grave holding the pink-white Nike shoe that had brought her home. He placed it beside the headstone that read, Nicole Elizabeth Parker, 1978 to 2005. Beloved daughter, fiancé, friend, forever in our hearts, forever running free. Karen Parker stood beside him, finally able to cry tears of closure. Now you're at peace, baby, Marcus whispered. Now you can rest. Nicole Parker died at 26 on a morning run in April 2005. But she came home 16 years later in 2021. The pink-white Nike running shoe buried in the dirt refused to stay hidden. Justice came late. But justice came. Subscribe for more true crime stories where justice finally came.